Welcome and right to today's unboxing. After last week's X-Men unboxing of XM Studios Beast, today we have the XM Studio Psylocke statue. And just before we get started, thanks again to all my supporters, thanks for your support. And all my fellow collectors and Sabassemblers, thanks again to all of you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, I'd really appreciate that. And okay, so as already said, today we have the XM Studios Psylocke, and well, we're really into this whole X-Men line from XM Studios, and this is actually one of those statues I wasn't too crazy about. I wasn't even sure whether I was going to get it, but after I got Beast, and since I have already quite a lot of XM Studios X-Men statues, I just thought, yeah, let me get it. But now it's here and I'm here to unbox this for you, so let's get started. This box is not too big, it's actually relatively small and relatively light, so that shouldn't be a big deal. So let's just see what's inside. As usual, probably we'll have all those paperworks from XM Studios. Yeah, right here we have the usual black envelope, and we have the art print. Wow, it's a very neon-like art print from Psylocke. Really nice, actually. I really like this art print with her powers, and as usual, the packaging guide and the QR code. So let's just put these aside.
ድምድም አታመው ድምድም ድምድም ወደ ጎጃም ግድም ድምድም ወደ ጎንደር ግድም ድምድም ወደ ራያ ግድም ድምድም አታመው ድምድም ድምድም ባለ እንግዲህ አገዝም መላ የለው
Okay, so we have as usual the XM Studios nice hardcover boxes. As I said, this is not a big box, it's pretty small actually, but it's also not a big statue, I believe. It's actually pretty unusual for XM Studios. Usually, as we all know, XM Studios likes big statues and heavy ones. Okay, so put this aside, and here in the front, as usual, we have all the people involved in the production of this statue, and on the other side here we have the picture of Psylocke and a short backstory to the character. So, saying that, let's, as usual, unbox all the pieces, and I'll get back to you for the assembly.
ነገር እስኪ ሻል ቢለኝ አባይን ልሻገር መላ የለው መላዬንስ ፍቅር እስኪ መላ ባገኝ ጭሙጋን ልሻገር እስኪ ተወኝ ሐኪም አጉላት አድክመኝ ምን ብዬ ነግሬህ ምን ብለህ ታክመኝ ምን ተሰማህ ብሎን ምንድነው ጥያቄ ምን እንደሚሰማኝ እኔስ ምን አውቄ አፈሩ ነጭ ጤፍ መሬቱ ሸጋ አብቃይ አየሩ እንደ ዋግምት የጎኑ ጋት ነቃይ እግሬ እንደረገጠ የአባይ ማዶን ዳገት የኖረብኝ ህመም ይቶኛል ድንገት የምን ከኔን ለማይረባኝ ነገር ይልቅ ልሂድ አባይን ልሻገር የምን ከኔን ለማይረባኝ ነገር ይልቅ ልሂድ አባይን ልሻገር የምን ድንበር ለማይጠቅም ነገር ተያይዘን በፍቅር እንሻገር የምን ድንበር ለማይጠቅም ነገር ተያይዘን በፍቅር እንሻገር ከወንዝ ወደ ማዶ እንሻገር ጉዳይ የነበረህ እንሻገር የኔ ቢጤ አፍቃሪ እንግዲህ ምን ቀረህ ሙላቱ ካለፈው እፎይ ካለች ሀገር ምን እንጠብቃለን በል ወንዝ እንሻገር በሉን ወንዙን እንሻገር ከንፈሯን ቅቤ ያለው ብሎ ማን ነገረኝ በግላጭ በስማት ምቻ አጠናገረኝ ህመም ያለ ክፍቴን መቻ ወቀልኝ ሰው ናፍቆት ነው ጉልበቴን የሚያልፈሰፍሰው ምንድነው ዘመዱን ፈዘዝ ሲያግድም ናንቺ እንሞካከር ኩታህን አገልድም ከገጠምን ወዲያን አናውቅም ግልግል አቧራ ውስጥ ይጨስ ወለል ውስጥ ይነግል ድምድም አታመው ድምድም ድምድም ወደ ጎጃም ግድም ድምድም በወልቃይት ግድም ድምድም ወደ ራያ ግድም ድምድም አታመው ድምድም ድምድም በል እንግዲህ አገልድም የምን ከኔ ለማይረባኝ ነገር ይልቅ ልሂድ አባይን ልሻገር የምን ከኔ ለማይረባኝ ነገር ይልቅ ልሂድ አባይን ልሻገር አምባጓሮ ለማይጠቅመን ነገር
Okay, welcome back everyone. We're here with all the individual pieces unboxed. We have the base of Psylocke here, not a relatively big base, but a lot of things, several things going on it. And the statue comes actually with more pieces than I thought, but and there are a lot of small pieces here, and we'll get back to that later. So, okay, so let's start putting this statue together. So, I believe first we have this small piece here of wires that goes here in right in the front, I believe, and it has just wondering which way to go in. I think it goes in like the curve inwards, and so we have it there. And next I believe should be this one piece of this metal piece of the danger room or something, I believe. And but all of these pieces, we have 4 of these style pieces of metal, and they're color coded. And here we have, I believe, like the white one, and that goes right here in the front into the base. And let's just try to fit that in. And wow, that's a strong magnet, I'm telling you. I mean, I can't even get it out anymore, honestly. Whoa, that was a kind of shock. Whoa. And next I believe should be the kind of the one with the peg, and with like a blue one, and that goes into the kind of pillar here right in the center, and it should, I believe, go upwards, and it's just trying to fit that in, and it goes in without any issues. Looking good up to now. And next I believe should be this other longer one with where it has a green side with a peg and another smaller peg, orange. I believe it should go in 2 places at the same time. Question is just yeah, it's the green part goes into the base, and the other orange side with the smaller peg goes into the base, just like underneath next to where her leg is. And so let's just try to kind of choreograph, we need the right choreography and to synchronize both parts. think you should get the peg in the base in first and then connect the one right here into the base, and then you should be fine. Okay, so next should be the fourth part, which I believe just has magnets, and this should fit in just right here into the base, and if I'm not mistaken this should also connect to another part, but just make sure you connect it like going underneath the other one from behind, and then try to at the same time connect it with the second part there, and also all color coded, and it already went in and looks great. All magnets all sit in firmly. It's a little bit wobbly, I believe, but I think it's in. Yeah, and that's how it looks like. Whoa, you have this whole mesh of metal kind of tentacles going all around, and well, I mean, that's quite an accomplishment to design this. So next should be, I believe we have these small pieces of metal, I don't know, wall pieces or small bars, and these are also color coded. You have a red and a orange one, and the orange one goes, I believe, right behind her leg, and just try to goes in right here just to show you, and goes in with a tiny peg, and just try to fit that in. It's, since the peg is so small and it's hidden by this mesh of tentacles, and it's a little bit more difficult than I expected, but it went in. So next is the purple one, and that one seems easier to fit in, and it's right in the center of this mesh and should just fit in simpler, I hope. And yeah, we got it in. Ooh, and next should be, you have this drill piece of the base, and that one goes in right here in the front with a kind of violet pink color, and the question just which way it goes in. Yeah, and goes in right here. Beautiful. So next we have these two triple drills, and you have a white and a green one, and the white one, I believe, should go in right here into the first piece you added to the base, and then we have the green one that fits into the top part here of the base, and where her leg also is connected to, you see right here. And wow, it's actually much more dynamic base than I thought. So then we have this hand grenade or sphere, metallic sphere, that just fits into the top here, right in the center. Question is just which way it fits in. Is it already correct? I'm not sure if it has specific. It's hard to tell which way it's supposed to go in, honestly. But each direction somehow it seems solid. It's a bit weird. Okay, let's skip it that way. And that's in. And next, I believe, should be the main body of Psylocke. and her right leg goes right into here where you see her foot. And let's just see how that fits in. Wow, that went in smoothly. Beautiful. Nice. So next should be the strap of her belt or scarf, whatever, and that has a tiny sphere. I mean, I'm telling you, this sphere is actually is very fragile. I mean, you want to be careful when moving this. It does move and shake a little bit due to its length. So when I had this in my hand first, when I was taking it out, I thought it was broken, but it's actually not. And it seems like a plastic kind of material, honestly. But you might want to be careful. I'm just telling you. I'm sure this thing could break easily, but once it's in, I think the peg seems very solid. It doesn't come out easily. So good. And next should be, I believe, her power arm, the right arm. And that just goes in right here with a magnet. Very nice. Next should be her left arm. Should be holding the sword, and that fits in this way, also with a magnet. Seems relatively solid, I believe. And so I believe we should add the sword. The sword comes separately. Wow, this sword is actually pretty long. It's quite a big katana sword, and that you just add that into her hand. And next we have the option of 2 portraits. I'm telling you, like, these portraits, like, I mean, this again, I think I need to say this. XM Studios again has proven the quality of their packaging, because there are so many really fragile pieces of the hairs that could have broken off, especially on the kind of regular Psylocke portrait with more hair, just like similar to the previous Storm statue, where it had a lot of people had the issue that these things broke off. It's similar here, but the only difference is here nothing broke off. And I just want to say again, as I said before, XM has proven again the quality of their packaging, and everything came in safe and nothing broke off. So again, top notch. So questions, just let's start with my less favorite one, this kind of badass angry kind of look without any switch outs on it, and that one just goes in right here. So here we're actually done already with the first option to display Psylocke. And as I said before, like, I wasn't too... Okay, welcome back. So here we have the Psylocke statue from XM Studios already assembled, and as we've shown you before. So now we're here for the review, and I've had a few moments looking at the details of this statue, and all I can say is I'm actually not disappointed. There are things about it I like, well, most of the things I like about it, and there are some small things where I think that could have been done better. And as I said, like, this statue, I wasn't too eager on getting this. I was even considering to leave this one away, just like Beast from last week. But I ended up getting these as a big XM Studios fan, and I'm easy to catch when it comes once I'm in a whole line of, like, X-Men, for example, in this case. So I can say, when I see the statue, I'm actually very much impressed. It looks much nicer than I expected it to be, as I saw it on the pictures. It's compared to the Beast, it's much more interesting to look at. Psylocke has a really dynamic pose, and she is more of an eye catcher than Beast. So she's actually, as I said, like, I'm not a big fan of the character, but the statue is actually really nice to look at. It's a very dynamic base. You see all this cyber tentacles going around in and out of each other, just like spaghetti, and that looks really nice. And Then you have her dynamic pose where she's almost like flying and jumping in the air, and you see her belt, the strap just also flying in the air, gives a more dynamic touch to it, and her pose and her hair. On this side they're also like flowing in the motion, and you have her long power arm, dagger going out, and then you have on the left arm you have her katana sword. Very nice. And here we have her displayed, as you can see, with the kind of with this butterfly power portrait as they have it on the art print. It looks really nice. And starting with the concept of the statue, I think they got the character of Psylocke top notch. They did it. You see her and you see this Psylocke, and you see her power arm here on the right. You have this clear resin plastic kind of material, and it seems solid. I think maybe with a light up function it could have given it another extra boost. Could have looked nice. But even this way it looks really nice. I'm sure in a display with some illumination it could look really nice too. And you have a similar material here on her face, this part that goes in right in the front. And this butterfly look, and looking nice. And I mean, what really impressed me is the base here, and you have the way they engineered the base. You have all these tentacles going in, out, left, right, up, down, and putting all these different pieces together. It's, for the engineering, it was actually relatively easy to put together. I was surprised, and XM Studios did a great job there. And you have these daggers, these triple daggers, not daggers, drills, I mean. You have this one big drill here in the center, and then you have these two triple drills, the front and one in the back. They look really nice, and really happy with that. And you have all these different damages in the base. You see these different scratches on the sides and in the front, all over the whole statue. It looks really nice. And oh yeah, one thing I mentioned, like when we put the statue together, like there was this sphere and I wasn't sure which way to put it in, and as I said, like it looks like a hand grenade. And here you have this metal thing that's supposed to go upwards, and just to let you know. And coming back to the base, and as I said, this is a really dynamic base. And coming to Psylocke, I mean, I love her pose. Like, her pose is great. You have this really dynamic motion, and she looks great. Her body sculpt, great look, and I think they did great job to have her here. And paint job wise, I think could have been done better. Like, what could have been done better, to be exact, is the skin. I'm not so happy about the skin tones. I think the skin could have had more shading, like especially the legs and her shoulder areas, or as I said, like especially the legs here. They seem just like one color, and I think there could have been more shadings, and to make it look a little bit more better, to have more contrast and so. But otherwise I don't see any overflows. And then coming to her like suit, like the sculpt of her boots is one thing that jumped to me. You have this purple, like metallic purple look all over her suit, and her boots, they have a different texture to the rest of her body. Like here you have this really like leather design sculpt and on her boots, and it almost looks like real leather, just only with this purple metallic touch to it. And then you have these black parts, these black accents that you see on her legs and her torso. These things, it's just not, they're textured, but it's not just rough. They have their own kind of design to it, and I'll give you a close-up on that so you can see what I mean. And it's a really nice extra they added there too. Pretty impressive there. And then you have this more flat purple metallic texture. There isn't really much texture going on. It's just this metallic look going all over the rest of her armor. Not armor, but bodysuit. And yeah, so that's what I can say. And as I said, like, you have these two options to display her, or three options in fact. Like with this portrait, you can switch out if you don't want this butterfly power thing. You can just add this extra hairpiece that goes in to cover up, and you can make her look this way. And this looks nice too, but honestly, it looks good. But as I'm saying, like, I think this is something that's come up repeatedly. See, you have this really dynamic pose, and for this pose, I think her expression lacks some emotion. I think she should have a more angry or more, how should I say, like, vicious look on her face. You see, like, the mouth is closed. It's more like she's just like totally relaxed and she's not really angry, and I don't know what the idea behind it is. I think that could have been, they could have done something else there. And let's just switch out again the other portrait. How should I say, the one I call the kind of, the one with the kind of badass. Oh man, I just want to be careful taking this out. Here you have this kind of badass hairstyle portrait. Here she looks more angry. Here you have a little different expression. Here she looks more angry, but still I think the mouth should have been open where you can see the inside, where she's either screaming or just showing her teeth. I think that would have fit better to this pose, I would say. But that's just one thing I think that could have changed. They could have changed. Like, I like this portrait too, but I don't think I'll probably be using it. Here you have a more, how should I say, more longer or slim, or she looks, how should I say, a little bit older on this portrait, and it's more like a badass, angry, or more like a killer look portrait here. But it looks good too. Here you can see the details on the eyes and the eyebrows. They were done very well. The paint job, no overflows. Let's say the eyes have been done really nicely. And see, on both portraits, you have the hair. You have this dark purple and lighter purple hair color. You have these lighter purple strains going all over along her hair on both portraits. And that looks really nice, yeah. So you get this with the combination of the lighter purple, and I'm not sure if it's black. I think it's more like a black ground color, and we have this in combination with this lighter purple. You get this dark purple effect on both portraits, looking really nice, and it fits perfectly to the whole suit of the other purples. And this strap has been done really nicely too. It's more like a plastic material, but I'm always afraid, like, it seems like it will break off if you touch it, but I hope up to now it hasn't. So just one other thing. So I didn't expect a huge statue, but I expected, honestly, I expected the statue to be a little bit smaller, honestly. Looks really good, and but the statue is actually, as I said, it's bigger than I expected it to be, and it's more dynamic, and honestly I'm positively surprised, because since I think the statue is more impressive than I thought. So let's talk about the size. In height, I think the tallest part from the bottom would be the top here of her power arm. In height, it's in centimeters, it's 53.5 centimeters, and in depth, if we're counting like from the front of her katana sword all the way to the back here, we should be talking about 55 centimeters, something like that. And in width, depending on how you're going to display it, We're talking about maybe 34 centimeters. Not too bad. It's a relatively small statue, but not small, but it's like a medium-sized statue, I would say. And as usual, like XM Studios has again brought a really nicely dynamic, larger base as we're used to from them. So I think, and this time we were also lucky enough to get another plaque, as we always love from XM. And let's just open that one. Usually we have these nice black leatherly like boxes. Always love that. And really nice. So we have, let's just take off this blue plastic cover, and looking nice. We have the portrait we have with the power portrait, as we do with as we had on the portrait, out on the art print. Looking nice, and can't wait to display this in my display. And yeah, so I believe this was it for today's unboxing, and I'm expecting, I'm sure, like more statues to come in the future, maybe also from the X-Men line. Just one secret, don't tell anyone. Rogue will be in next week, so as I said, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Okay, I just hope you didn't hear what I said before. So that's it. So God bless you, God bless our statues, and have a nice day.
ቆንጆታ ናረያ ደማለው ለወለድሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ለአምባሰልሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ሸጋታ ቆንጆታ ናረያ ደማለው ለወለድሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ለአምባሰልሽ ማሳሰብ ነው አይበቃም ያንሳል ተፈጥሮ ልዩ ነው አይበቃም ያንሳል ተፈጥሮ ልዩ ነው ወረባ ሞትሽን እንታና መቅደላ እስቲ ለዛ ቆንጆ ስማውጥለን ሌላ እስኪ ለዛ ቆንጆ ስማውጥለን ሌላ ላይ ሸከባለ ገልደን የራያው አንበሳ ሸከባለ ገልደን የራያው አንበሳ በከመከሙ ላይ ሚዶን ሰክቶ ልዩ ሲንጎራደድ ጊዜውን አንግቶ ልዩ ሲንጎራደድ ጊዜውን አንግቶ ወንዘር ውበቱን ለመግለጽ በምን ቃል ይነገር ቃሉ ማሽላ ነው ባሰል ማርሸት የፍቅር አያያዝ እሱ ወደ ውሸት ቃሉ ማሽላ ነው ባሰል ማርሸት የፍቅር አያያዝ እሱ ወደ ውሸት ያንስብኛል 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 ቢሰብሉለት ያንስብኛል ቢቃኙለት ያንስብኛል ብቻ ቆንጆ ብቻ ናረያ ደማለው ለወለድሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ለአምባሰልሽ ማሳሰብ ሸጋ ብቻ ቆንጆ ብቻ ናረያ ደማለው ለወለድሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ለአምባሰልሽ ማሳሰብ ነው ማርያና መርጦ ሐይቅና ኮብዬ ይወለዳል ቆንጆ ይወለዳል ሸጋ ወደራታ እንጂ ከሱ የሚጠጋ ወደራታ እንጂ ከሱ የሚጠጋ ለኔሱ ብቻ ነው የሰው መጨረሻ ለኔሱ ብቻ ነው የሰው መጨረሻ ካሳሳስታየው ለየበለጠብን ውበቱን ለመግለጽ ቃላት አነሰብን ውበቱን ለመግለጽ ቃላት አነሰብን ሸበላ ድማም ሽከርከሩ ከኔ የማይጠፋው ምንድነው ሚስጥሩ አበባ ብልሸት ኮከብ ጨረቃ ላላገኘሁም ስል እሱ የሚበቃ